All right. Aloha and welcome to the Exposed Show. Today I have Eric here. He is the owner of Yoga Room and he is here to talk about breathwork. Now, Eric has a diverse experience with yoga, health and wellness, and all types of modalities to help heal your body. I wanted to invite him onto our podcast to just share more information about his knowledge, the experience of having breathwork, having the breathwork experience, and then also just hear from him firsthand what breathwork is. So Eric, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. I'm excited to talk with you, hear your knowledge and your wisdom, just about some of the things that we can do to continue our health and healing. So Eric,
Great.
first thing I want to ask you then is, how did you come across breathwork?
I've been to Bali. I've been to a lot of the Wanderlust. I've been to a lot of these different festivals, and I've tried breathwork. And I never what I call cracked open until I went to Costa Rica and I did a 7-day ayahuasca retreat down at Rhythmia in Costa Rica. And for some reason, maybe it was just the right time. Maybe before I wasn't doing it correctly, or it wasn't the right modality. I had this cathartic experience. And I remember saying, hey, I have a yoga, they got the yoga room Hawaii back home in Hawaii. I'm bringing this back to Hawaii. And the experience was amazing. So that's what I did. And I brought it back.
Now, I know for myself, there's a lot of different styles of breath work. People refer to it in different ways. There's different techniques. What specifically would you say is breath work practices that you do or work with and teach people?
So there's a lot of different types of breath work. I mean, there's the Kundalini breath work, there's the Wim Hof, there's the yogic pranayama breathing where you hold one nose and the other. There's a lot of different stuff, and they all work. Okay. I did this thing in Costa Rica, and then I got certified by a guy named John Paul Crimi, who does a similar type of breath work that they did in Costa Rica. And I brought it back. I brought it back to Hawaii, and I will teach you to breathe in a certain way. And the whole idea is, breath work will make you feel good, it'll make you sleep better, it'll oxygenate your body, which is alkalining your body so that diseases have a hard time coming into your body. But really the biggest thing that I try to do is I want people to move some stuck energy. And that is really what this cathartic experience is all about, is moving the stuck energy that we all have in our body. As you know, when we have stuck energy, it can turn into what I call a somatic symptom, which means an emotion can turn into a physical ailment. I mean, we all hold our stress here, anxiety in our hips, maybe. And when we do breath work, a lot of people can sleep better at night, and these ailments kind of go away. So, and there's a science behind the woo-woo, which is your frontal lobe. It's just called your default mode network. This whole Mohawk area in your brain just dominates our waking hours. It's our ego, it's our self. And when we do breath work, even in plant medicine, this kind of goes to sleep. And when this goes to sleep, other areas of our brain start to talk to each other, the limbic brain parts of our brain and things like that. And they remember things that your predominant brain, your default mode network says, don't remember this, because this is not going to help you move through life, which we all know, like this default mode network is your self-preservation system. And what ends up happening is, let's just say that you have a trauma in your past. The default mode network says, okay, we don't want you to bring this up. We don't want you to remember this. We're going to file it way in the back of your mind. And what ends up happening is it does come up, but it comes up in your subconscious in the way we think about ourselves, the way we enter in our relationships, the way we handle ourselves in our job. And until we move this energy and make peace with that energy, then we can really move forward in time in a more positive way. So breathwork has the ability, and it's a tool. It's a tool that can basically help you in real time, to help you, give you opportunities to help solve some problems and give you clarity. And it's just one thing that you can put in your backpack, like therapy, like yoga, like walks in nature, and just laughter. I mean, these are all tools that you can help to settle that little agitation, if anything, and move forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's like you said, there's so many different styles and then so many different ways to your body processes emotion. I know for myself, doing breath work was, especially your class specifically, I went to your class and I can't, these things came up for me that I was ignoring. I was kind of bypassing. Like you said, I was filing it away, didn't really want to put energy into processing it and kind of just chug it along in my normal life. But during that breathwork class, it just helped bring that up without me judging myself, without me feeling like, oh, it's bad to have these feelings, or why am I still feeling shame around this or guilty about this? So it was really powerful. And, I think it's something, like you said, cathartic for people to experience on their healing journey.
Yeah.
With that being said, what are some of the somatic feelings that someone can expect during a breathwork class or a practice?
When you do the breath work, there's a thing called the T-Rex hands, it's called technique. So you get that. I mean, I can do it as much as breath work as much as I can. I've never got it, but people do get it. Some people will feel like they're stuck to the ground. Some people will feel like they're floating. You get a tingling sensation. You get dizzy in the first 5 minutes, which goes away because it's your body recalibrating the oxygen and carbon dioxide in your brain, in your body. But technically, that is just part of the breath work. What I kind of go for is what's happening in the brain, what's happening in your heart. Just like you said, if you have the ability to say, I can look at my traumas, I can feel it, and it's okay to be able to feel it. That's good, because a lot of times when these traumas come up, people run away from it. They don't want to address it. But if you have this ability to, during breath work, to be able to say, I can be the observer and I can look at this. I had somebody that got raped when she was 12 years old, and she went back into her past and saw her younger self. And she was able to look at herself and tell and talk to her younger self while she was going through that trauma and saying, this doesn't define you. Don't feel shame. Breathe through this. I mean, and then you have yourself healing yourself. It's not coming from any else, other exterior forces.
Right.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So at the end of the breathwork, I hear stories around the room. And obviously, if I didn't hear these amazing stories, I probably wouldn't be doing it. But these stories are the reasons why I keep doing this over and over again, because you hear these stories and they're real. And if anything, it gives you some clarity so that you can say, okay, I need to process this. Something happened during this breath work. There's a message in this. And maybe it gives you clarity to be able to move into the present moment, into the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my experience in your class. I mean, like I said, I had this emotion come up for me as we're breathing, and my ego initially was, stop breathing, this is too hard, you just why are you doing this, why are you putting yourself through it? But like you said, being the observer, I knew that witnessing these emotions, witnessing myself heal is motivating. That was the whole purpose behind it. And what I really liked during your class was, we all had the headphones on and you were there facilitating or like encouraging us throughout the process to like let go and trust this process. Like, you're gonna feel this, it's okay. And I took like that, to me, was so helpful to have, because I don't know how they do it in other places, but just to have someone be there and kind of like guide you through the process was really needed. Otherwise, I could feel my ego just be like, nope, we're good. Nope, we're gonna.
So what I do is I frame in about maybe 15 to 20 minutes about what's going to happen. Because if I didn't do that and you started to breathe, you'd be saying, why am I feeling this way? This is terrible. I'm out of here. So you would leave. So I tell what's going to happen. And then I have the silent disco headsets. And the silent disco headsets really a design. It's a game changer when I did it, when I started using it, because it really makes you go inward. And I do give these positive affirmations during class that some line will trigger something where it'll take you down an avenue, take you down to a journey, but it keeps it very positive, so that it's more of a blissful thing. I've seen some breath work where it can get kind of ugly, but that's just the way I do it. I also do what I call toning, and toning is slapping the ground and yelling at the top of your lungs. And when people do it, they always laugh when we do that in my first 15 minutes as a test. But we do it 3 times during the breath work, and people really get a lot of that out. And at the end of the 30 minutes that we do this breath work, I ask everybody to hold their breath on the inhale as long as they possibly can. And people don't realize that they can hold their breath for almost 3 minutes because your body is oxygenated. But I tell them I don't care about how long they hold their breath. I care about what feelings come up, because that is when things start to come up. And of course, you're going to get all of the different emotions during this whole thing. Some people will start and they'll start crying. You'll hear laughter. You'll hear anger, because those are all emotions, and you're going to hear it all. And you just want to make sure that you're in a safe place that you can be able to do that. You want that to come out. I'm encouraging people in the room, just let it out. And you're going to feel wonderful when you do it.
Yeah, no, during your class too, the toning was both like, there was mixed feelings I was having during it, but it was necessary, because during that breathwork process, the segments that you did of it, you do start to like disconnect from your body, and like bringing yourself back in. It was like, kind of grounding the energy that was moving through you. So I really like that. So what type of person, or like, who would you recommend trying breath work? Because I know some people on their journey, they might be at different stages. And so what would you say are, some signs or behaviors or things that people are struggling with that would indicate breath work as an avenue for their health?
God, I think we all should be doing it. I know there's these 2 big meditators. They meditate all the time. They came to my breathwork and they never did breathwork at all. And now they said, this is great because I can do this breathwork for like 10 minutes before I actually get into my meditation. And it gives them a better experience in their meditation. I think breathwork is good for everybody. Everybody is walking around with something, right? And and this is good. If anything, it just makes you feel wonderful. So, and I would definitely think, I mean, I get all these different types of people saying, try my breathwork, try my breath. It's better than everybody else's. I remember seeing this t-shirt that says, my guru is better than your guru. And, bottom, it's obviously a joke, but the point I'm trying to say is all breathwork is good breathwork. And some breathwork will make one individual go deeper into that breath work, and another one will go deeper into that one. Find your modality, give it a shot. I mean, Wim Hof has been doing it for such a long time, advocating it. It's starting to come into the mainstream, and I just would recommend everybody to try it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like you said, there's a spectrum of types that we can do. There's several modalities outside of breath work that help us, but why not try? You never know. And it's,
Sure.
yeah, trying, yeah, you're going to find something.
Right. I mean, if somebody's saying, oh, I don't need that, that's just your emotions saying, oh, I don't want to do it. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. I mean, you can't do anything for a person that is not motivated. But if somebody has that little inkling to motivate themselves and has that discipline to, hey, I have this, something is happening. I'm feeling a lot of anger, or I got a lot of this pain in my neck, or just walking around with a little bit more anxiety than you normally have, saying you need to be looking for these tools to try to help you solve that, to lower that vibrational energy. So breathwork is just a tool to be able to try to help you do that.
Yeah. Well, it requires the vulnerability and it requires trust. You need to trust yourself. You need to trust the facilitator to be able to hold that space for you and to know that they're going to guide you. And that's exactly, the style that you did in the class and the way you approached it. That's, you hold that safe container. So it was really, really powerful and transformative for, I think, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got a full class. I mean, we're selling everything out, which is great. I mean, so, and it started off really small, and it's just one of those things, just like anything, it's just discipline. It's like when a drop of water hits rock, there's a dent in the rock over time. And it's just something that I keep doing once a month. People keep showing up. You got about, I would say 20% of the people coming back again over and over again. They do breath work and they come back, and every single time it's a different experience. It's not like I'm going to go back and come to the same place. Life is happening. You're dealing with different stuff in your life, and when you come back, you're going to have a different experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You mentioned other modalities. I want to hear from you then. What other things do you do in your daily life aside from breath work, or what other ways can we support our system, or things that are fun for you to do as well?
I mean, knowledge is great. I mean, I'm a person that is constantly listening to podcasts. Hopefully I'll listen to this one, and I'm going to be going to Bali really soon next month to do the Bali Spirit Fest. There's some great instructors there. I'm going to see Dr. Joe Dispenza in Cancun in June. I think that you're going to find something in all of that. And again, it's the person that's motivated. You want to try to be aware and awake. You have to put the energy into it and find that time to do it.
Yeah, willing to explore the darkness and step into the unknown and just open yourself up to these different ways, because like you said, you never know what type of transformation is going to happen.
Yeah, and then there's also plant medicine. Like I said, I did an ayahuasca retreat, and because I did this ayahuasca retreat, they didn't talk about the breath work before I went. And all of a sudden I find this breath work, and this breath work was just incredible. And it's made me say, I need to take this back to help the people in Hawaii experience this. Cathartic. Yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it sounds awesome. I mean, I haven't done actual plant medicine before. I know, like you said, maybe it'll land, and everybody's on their different journey, and these tools, these modalities are available for us.
There's a great Netflix show called How to Change Your Mind. And they did 4 episodes, one on acid, they did one on mushrooms, they did one on Molly. Yes, Molly. And they did one on peyote. And you should watch them. I mean, it'll give you a different sight, because we've been fed a lot of information about these drugs in the past over the last 30-40 years that's just been a little off-centered, and it's not right. So this documentary really set it straight. I'm not saying that plant medicine is something for everybody, but even when you go and do a thing like ayahuasca, and even in breathwork, and I say this in my class, some people do the breathwork, nothing happens. Like I said, I went to 3 or 4 breathwork classes, and I'm hearing people just go places. They are teleporting someplace. I didn't go anywhere. And it could have been the timing, maybe it was all in my head, but once I did it in this way, it was powerful enough for me to have an experience. So I call these what they call nadas. And even though you don't have this experience, just monitor yourself. If you go do a breathwork class or an ayahuasca class and you have what they call a nada, just watch yourself in the next month. Watch how you move, and that movement may be different than you moved in the past. So you know that even though you had what you feel is a nada, it really wasn't.
It's like the light bulb just turns on a little bit later. Things start kind of making more sense. You have more awareness about, seeing things. So you start connecting the dots more. At least that was part of my, the unfolding as well. Yeah. So take us through a morning of Eric. What would a morning routine be for you? What is your
So I
go-to self-care and health hacks?
I own a advertising agency for the last 28 years. So that has been my whole um that's been my way of making a career. And I started to do yoga back in 2008, started teaching in 2013 yoga, and this path just kind of just led me into this area to the point where during the pandemic, I bought a yoga studio, and we actually opened up when the whole island was just shut down, and we were just doing everything by Zoom. Uh, but I wake up in the morning and I try to do a little bit of meditation. I got to have my coffee first, though. Got to have my coffee. I'll usually do a physical workout in the morning. I go to Orange Theory, and it's different from a lot of the yoga stuff. It's lifting weights and things like that, and I think it's very good as you get older to continue to have that bone density. And then of course I'll do my work, if that's outside or in my office. I work out of my house. I mean, I had an office before the COVID, and now we all went, into our houses, and we never missed a beat. And we had 3 essential businesses, and so we're all working remotely now. And then I'm an intermittent faster. So and I would also say that I'm a half vegetarian. So I have 2 meals a day. One is at lunch and one is at dinner. One of those meals have to be a vegetarian meal, mostly more plant-based. But I still eat everything, and I'm omnivore. And then in the evenings is when I do my yoga, and I teach 4 times during the week at Yoga Room Hawaii, which is in Kaimuki. And we have 650 members. It's a beautiful place. It's a great community. And yeah. And then in the evening at 9 o'clock, I am a zombie. So I usually
Yeah.
have things entertain me, but that's my day.
It's time to turn your brain off at that point and start
Yeah, it's I usually put on some kind of a show or something like that, and I have something entertain me, because I've been entertaining everybody else.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your information and just kind of more about breath work and what people can expect if they haven't tried it, or, offering the class and the service that you do at Yoga Room. How can people find you? How can we learn more about Yoga Room and their
You can
classes?
go to yogaroomhawaii.com, or on Instagram, find them at Yoga Room Hawaii, or you can just go on to and find me at Eric Rosso, Instagram or Facebook, and you'll find me. And then the week before my breathwork classes, I'll be promoting the breathwork class and letting people know that I'm having one coming up usually it's on Sundays around 7 o'clock. So, and if it continues to sell out, I will offer another class during the
Awesome.
month.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so exciting. Well, thank you again for coming on. I'm so glad to connect with you, and we'll stay in touch then, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
All right.